Presentation. My name is Everett Harvey, and so here's my past. Let me just get over here. I went to Sunkist first to fifth grade, and I went to EO Green after for middle school, sixth to eighth, and then I'm coming here. I actually ended up getting a letter from the mail from the school over here saying, "Hey, you should check out our school." And I found it interesting because I've never seen it before. So I ended up going over here during one of the tours, and I started checking it out. First classroom, from what I remember, is I went to Mr. G's, and I actually really liked it a lot. It was really cool. And I went over to construction, and never seen anything like that before, so it was actually really baffling. I went over to architecture, and I actually was really interested in architecture at the time, mainly because I was really into drawing at the time. And then I went over to check out computer science, and it was also another thing that was my main interest back then. And when I actually came to the school, I learned that computer science wasn't my thing. I actually enjoyed a lot more of architecture and engineering. And then now, which I'm here, I have chosen the path of engineering, the best pathway.
There you go.
I,
Stop.
oh,
All right, we're back.
no, this is fine.
It was.
Here.
It was.
Oh, did it?
Keep going.
Just
Okay.
before it does it again.
Okay. For my future, I want to join the Air Force. I plan on becoming a mechanic, hopefully for the aviation, either helicopters or the jets over there, because I'm really into jets and helicopters. This is me when I was younger. My IB core traits, my strongest one I'd say is open-mindedness and thinker. I like to think a lot. I am pretty quiet a lot of the time, and some of my teachers might notice that I tend to zone out a lot during class or just start thinking randomly. And open-mindedness, you'll see in a second in my reflective project that my opinions changed quite, or changed based off of what I listened to, and I kind of put two and two together and such. My weakest ones are balance. Without a doubt, I do not have much balance in my life. I tend to do everything off of a whim, and just go about off of what I think would be best for the scenario right now. Communicator. I'm not a really good speaker. I tend to freeze up sometimes when I'm talking to people. This is one of my biggest struggles. My reflective. So my reflective project, what I ended up choosing for my dilemma was whether it was ethical for brain chips to be implemented into society. One of the biggest topics that I or invested in was the Neuralink, which Elon Musk is working on. And at first, my original opinion on it was that oh, it's a bad thing. Well, because of all the negatives that can come out of it, the health risks, the potential for security breaches and such. But during my research, I learned that there's so many benefits that end up outweighing the overall negatives of what Neuralink can possibly bring. So I ended up finalizing my dilemma with this is something we should implement in society. This is ethical. I actually did have a lot of fun with this one. This is my favorite project that I ended up doing. I'm not big on essays, and this was fun to me, so I enjoyed it a lot. Service learning. So at first, our original idea was supposed to be fixing up the lunch line over there, but during the process of at the start of senior year, that ended up getting fixed, and we also ended up getting a new lunch menu, which is also something we were shooting for last year as our service learning. Because of the switch, we ended up having to improvise and figure out, what would be a good thing to end up doing. And while we were trying to figure out things, we noticed that the garden over here, over near the science room and the portables, it looks kind of dull, and we figured, let's add something cool with the pallets. And we had a bunch of pallets over there in the corner over towards the maker space, so why not reuse those? So our goal was to make a wall garden and have it completely renewable by using the pallets and what was already there. These plants over here, thank you, Mr. Melton, for taking the time to dig these out and give them to us. We ended up going with succulents as over the summer. Uh, we aren't probably going to be able to water them that much, so they should be self-sufficient for the most part. Everything that's on this garden right here, I don't know if some of you can see it, but it's just all from the pallets. We are going to attempt, this is just our prototype, we are going to try to attempt to clean it up a little bit more, make it look a bit nicer. I think we're thinking about staining it so it looks a little bit nicer instead of its kind of rugged design. And we plan on giving out the plans to the science teachers, see if they can start their own projects with it if need be. My PPS in language development. So for language development, I did enjoy this pretty cool project that we ended up doing where we had to make a food from our topic. I chose Spanish because Spanish is... wait for the helicopter to go by. I chose Spanish because I'm one of the few individuals in my family that speaks a little bit of Spanish, but not good enough for my family standards. And simply because a lot of people in the U.S. seem to speak a lot of Spanish. And it's just something that, if I can get down, it just opens up a lot of opportunities for me, especially in the workplace where if you know another language, it can get you pretty far. I ended up choosing to do this project right here. It's called Flan. A lot of you probably already know it, but my dad ended up helping me make it. And when we did our little potluck over here, it was a pretty big hit in our classroom because of how good it was. So thanks, Dad, for helping me out with that. I'm sorry, David, you didn't get to try it, but something from PPS that I really enjoyed was Mr. McGuire's not here, but I really am thankful for what he did there. He helped me a lot with kind of getting a basis down for a resume, and I actually really enjoyed that because I don't really see any other high schools doing that, like kind of prepping you for the future in your life, and having a resume like that and getting an idea down was amazing to me. So, I want to start off by saying, what would I say to my freshman self? I would just say, just go out there and try it. Really. I struggle with this to this day still, is I don't really like to kind of like, I feel nervous when I want to try something. Like if I'm interested in something and I want to try it, I don't end up doing it because I'm scared. But I missed out on so many opportunities. So if I could go back and tell my younger self just to go out there and try it, I feel like I'd be a lot better off than I was, or than I am now, if I just pushed myself a little bit more. Some of my highlights from this year was prom. The first prom we had, never really been to something like this before. Like we was on a boat last year, and I had such an amazing time. I had a good time with my friends right here, as you can see, Ethan right here. And then next year, I ended up winning prom king with my girlfriend Isabel. We all both got prom king and queen. I had a fun time with that. My biggest challenge, procrastination. I swear on my life this runs in my family. Down by generations. My dad knows. I know. So I definitely did work on that. I did end up doing parts of the wall garden today, cleaning it up a little bit more when I should have yesterday. But that was my biggest challenge. So I want to start off with my thank yous. I want to thank Mr. G. You've been there for me day one, always supporting me, listening to my crazy business ideas that I share time to time. I know, right? I want to thank Miss Nika. She always supports me, even though I'm not in her class anymore. She's always there to make sure I'm okay. She's a really sweet lady. You guys should really go over there and talk to her sometime. I want to thank Mr. Milton. Thank you for the plans. Thank you for supporting us. I know you've been struggling a lot this year, and you've committed a lot to just keep going and pushing through it. I really respect that. I want to thank you for that. Mr. Lang, Thank you. You're actually really, I actually enjoy history now because of you. I've always disliked history for the longest time, but when I stepped in your class, it was really fun. So I liked it a lot. So thank you for being a good teacher. Thank you, Dr. Brown. You've put me through a lot of work during ASB. So I learned how to manage time a little bit better with you. So thank you for that. I want to thank my family, of course. Always been there, always pushing me, always being there when to call me out when I'm not going the right way. I want to thank all of my friends here. They've pretty much just been my line of just keeping me sane for the most part during high school. I want to thank my girlfriend. She's pretty much one of my biggest sources of happiness. She's always there for me. She's always cheering me on. My number one cheerleader. I want to thank you, Ethan, for showing me, what not to do and what to do. And most importantly, I want to thank Mr. Myers. You've been here within such a short time, and yet you've managed to accomplish so much. And honestly, I really respect that for you. I have a lot of respect for you for that. And you've just been there to guide me. You have a really safe place in your classroom, and it's amazing. I really like what you do. I hope you stay here longer. We need a lot more people like you in this world, so thank you. And here's some funny pictures. This is my family. Oh, sorry. This is my family. Ethan, some of my friends. Well, I like to consider them my brothers, just how close we are. Isabel, and yeah, that's my dog right here, and my other dog. So thank you. My senior presentation.